there where you were tonight. You are at Royal Vauxhall Tavern, a building that I just found out is actually turning 150 years old this year. Ducky has been here for 127 of them, I think. We are a little bit younger, we have only been here for 3 years, but you know, we're getting there, we're getting there. In a few weeks' time though, Bar Wotever is celebrating 8 years because we started somewhere else and then we moved here. And our first guest tonight is going to talk about that a little bit. So my friends, I hope you are ready to hear the story of why Wotever. Yes! So welcome to the stage, Ingo! And that is me! This month is LGBT History Month, and the previous years we have been sort of like concentrating a lot of doing various LGBT history, and we have had speakers here talking about LGBT history. This month, this year, I think slightly because of a little bit lack of planning, I could honestly say, but also because I think I realized that a lot of us here within this Wotever community, we have done shit loads over the last years and are also part of the LGBT community, and it is our history we can share. So tonight I'm going to take this opportunity myself. Believe you me, it was really tough to put my name on that sort of like invite or event invite and say, I'm going to talk about whatever. Yeah, but who else should? I started it. So now I'm going to talk to you about that. Why Wotever? For all of you who wonder, I am Swedish. I'm 50 years old. I've been in this country for 13 years. My English will probably never get better than this. People that I work closely with understand my Swinglish. If you have problems, sorry, but ask your neighbor. Maybe they can explain and sort of like translate for you. Otherwise, just relax your grammar and kind of like proper Britishness tonight, because, you know, it's not going to help you. As I said, I'm Swedish. My background is I have worked my whole life in Sweden with either children. I'm a nursery school teacher. I have worked with food. I'm a chef. I have worked with social care, specialized with people with special needs. I have worked... Yeah, no, because I wrote them down because I have to have notes.
Has it been that long, Ingo?
It is so much. When you come to 50, it's so much. No, because also what I really worked a lot with in Sweden was drama, theater. So those 4 cornerstones has been really important for me my whole fucking life. Then I also in Sweden was very involved with the LGBT community. I was part of many charities. For 1 year I ran Stockholm Pride. I put it all together. I did a lot of those things back in Stockholm and Sweden. Then I fell in love with someone who lived in London, and I moved here. Thank you. Yeah, so I moved to London. I started working with, you know, ordinary jobs, like 9 to 5. I did some sort of translations for some websites and things like that, but I also then got a job as an assistant manager at Gaze the Word, the bookstore. And it was there, by that time, I had been in London for 4 or 5 years, Me and my then partner, we split up. We walked different ways. But working at Gays Word, I met a lot of really interesting people. And one day there were these guys coming saying, we have started up this wine bar nearby here, so we would like to invite you all over for a glass of wine one night. And me and my colleagues at Gays Word, i.e. Jim, we went there. And they were really nice, and I said, have you ever thought about having someone doing a club night here? He said, yes, we thought about it. Do you want to try? I said, yeah, I do. And that was back the summer of 2003. I then put together two of my friends who, we have talked quite a lot about this, that there were, back then in London, 2003, there were a lot of places where the three of us never felt comfortable to go out together in. Because either it was only open for women, so the trans guy was not allowed to come with us, or when we went to Ducky and we all dragged up, we got totally, you know, pissing people off, because when we kind of like flirted with them and they had no idea what gender we were, they were not so comfortable, so we didn't feel really welcome. Not only Ducky, but you know, other sort of places where gay men tended to go. And when I went out with my work colleagues to the straight pubs, you know, it didn't feel comfortable to flirt with the people I wanted to be flirting with there. So the idea of a night we wanted to run was a night where everyone was welcome, where everyone could flirt with whoever they wanted to flirt with. It's very basic, okay? Don't even think this is a bigger plan. It's all about flirting, having a good sex life, meeting people you like, having a giggle or two, feeling able to dress how you want to be dressed, and being taken serious when you need to. That's all whatever stands for. So anyway, so that first we needed to come up with a name, and the thing is, I don't know if it happens to you a lot, but for me, coming from Sweden, looking pretty much the same, a little bit lighter, a little bit younger of course, but I had the same kind of hairstyle, dressed the same kind of way. In Sweden I was always taken for a librarian, or at least a cultured woman. Coming to London and England with this look, immediately I was stopped going into the ladies' toilet, because, sir, this is for the women. Or ordering things, you know, people were like, how can I help you, sir? Madam, whatever. People never knew what I was here, because suddenly I didn't represent a woman anymore. I played with that quite a lot, because let's face it, I've sort of walked that sort of like gender bending way for quite a long time, and I kind of enjoyed it, I have to say. So Wotever was a given name that we chose for this club night. So Club Wotever was then born. And since then, we have done a lot. Yeah. For instance, one of the things we have fought really hard for, and we did that for London Lesbian and Gay Film Festival a few years running. We even caused so much drama that the guards has to throw us out. Because one year, with the okay from the board of the people running it that year, we went to all the toilets and we glued things and only left the heads on the toilet signs. So people didn't know if it was a skirt or legs that could go in. And people were getting really confused and they were really upset. And they're like, how can I know now where I'm going? It's like, yeah, I know, welcome to the club. That's where we are all the time. Now BFI have gender-neutral toilets. So that is really cool. Our activism was called Toilet Liberation Front. TLF for short. And And we had a program and everything, so yeah, rock on. Anyway, so what I wanted to say with Wotever and what we're doing with Wotever, all these sort of things we do, these Tuesday nights at Bar Wotever, we do it every week. We do it with an open heart. Now we have food. We meet each other. We have a social center. We have a social care. We're sitting and talking to each other. But also we have a chance to sort of party with each other. And we can flirt. And I know more than once sex has happened. Then we do all these other things. We do daytime things like the queer market, the queer fair. We're doing late night things with kind of like more club nights and things like that. But also, we travel a lot and we meet a lot of people with influences in the world. And I wanted to share a few examples with you. If you think for 1 second you have no power to change the world. Because this was a discussion a few years ago when Wotever had to become more than just Club Wotever or Bar Wotever. We became Wotever World. Yeah, because we have the fucking power to change the world. And I'm now going to share a few examples that I'm seriously proud of. And there are so many more. But we have access to power in the world. Just by being our queer selves, just by being our transgenders, just by being who we are. Because when we are who we are, when we find people we like and love, then we are strong. And this is why Wotever. We have worked a lot with Poland. We have been in Poland quite a lot and done a lot of things there. And that is all due to the fact, back when we started, there were 2 young students living in London. Then when they went back to Warsaw, they invited us to come over and do whatever stuff, because they said, nothing like that is happening here, so we would like you to come and help us starting, not only a scene, but, you know, create stuff. So we did. And 10 minutes is up, but I'm going to run over the time, because tonight I'm doing a Michael Brown. Thank you. So anyway, so we have been to Poland and Warsaw quite a lot. Back in 2005, we did a Crossdresser event in Poland. It was in a private house where we invited people from all over to come and be the gender they wanted to be that night. And it was all hush-hush, shh, because people could only apply for the tickets on the web and over the internet. And people were coming, traveling from all over, because we created rooms where people could change in this big villa. I had people over with me from London, all transgender kind of performance artists, but also musicians. And we created an event this night. Back in 2010, I went back to Warsaw. Then my friends that I have known them for many years, the students, had got a job at the National Theatre in Poland, and with that power could change and, you know, program theatre and what happened on the theatre scene. And she invited me and Wotever to come over because they did a whole kind of a season of migration, and she wanted Club Wotever to come and do the after party, because we are all about migration. It's about, we are all trans one way or the other. We move from sort of being young to older. We can travel across class, we can travel across borders. So in this migration we were asked to come back and, you know, do a party. The night of the party there was a panel talk on the radio, and it was me and a few other people sitting in this panel talking about gender and sexuality. And one of the women after that was in this panel, she said, "You don't really recognize me, do you?" I was like, "I'm sorry." She said, "I came to that Crossdresser party back in 2005. It was my first time where I allowed myself, where I dared being the woman I always known I am. My name is Anna Grodzka. And if you know Poland contemporary history, you know that now Anna is one of the selected and elected trans people who are an MP in Poland. She started Transfusia, the big trans organization. We have closeness to power. We create spaces. Last summer, one musician contacted me saying, I'm coming over to London, can I come and play on your stage? It looks pretty cool. Sarah, that is here tonight, she was the one that introduced them. It was Toshi Regan. Toshi Regan came over with her partner, Bob Alotta, who is a leading figure in a big lesbian foundation group. This year, or last year, when Obama was elected again as a president, who were there for at his, the dinner, the sort of like opening party. They were there. So images of people that 6 months earlier were here at Bar Wotever, listening to the music that the partner played on stage, the White House, Washington, D.C. We have connections to power. Here tonight, I bet there are many of you that are students, you're writing stuff, you're doing things, you are power. And that is why we do Wotever. Because we can change the fucking world to something where pretty much more people fit in with who we are and what we are. And I think I'm going to end there. So thank you very much. We have a little question and answers, but I am not going to let you ask me questions because I've written the questions myself.
You're not controlling it all, are you?
Not at all. Okay, if you have anything else to ask me later, we maybe can do that. But these are questions I've heard since we started, 2003, and I'm now going to explain them all to you. Is this a lesbian club? No. It's not only a lesbian club. Lesbians are very welcome. Many of us are lesbians. But this club is open for everyone. But please remember us doing a lot of shit too. And just because the night is full of women, it doesn't exclude you. Thank you. Then, I can't come anymore to Wotever because my ex goes. You know what? The two of you met at Wotever. Then you didn't come to Wotever because you were at home watching telly, being cozy. Then you split up. And I haven't seen none of you for like 5 years because both of you think the other one is going. No. Myths. Your ex is not going anymore either. This is a serious one. Hi, my therapist or my lecturer told me to go. You are in my course plan. Oh, first time, and this happened actually like 8 years ago. First time I heard anyone saying that to me, that my therapist told me to go to Bar Wotever. I was kind of flattered. But I have to say, if you are sent here by someone working at NHS or making money by helping people, and they sending you to us without us knowing, I don't think that is fair. I know we can do a lot of things and we can take care of each other, but we are also only humans and we don't know, and sometimes we maybe don't have all the tools we need. So if there is anyone in this room or know anyone, please let us know and we will sort of talk to these people that recommend us, because I think it has to be a collaboration. And the same with lecturers or when we are in course plans. We can't take responsibility for everything you will experience here. Because every Tuesday is different, and it is what you put in that you take out. This isn't a paid show in West End where we have performers that have practiced for years, and you know, we do this because we want to share it. And there might be people up here that might upset you. There might be people here that, you know, do things that, you know, they're trying out, so the level might not be that good, or you know, there is a lot of reasons. But we don't want to take you. we don't want you to go away from here with that as the only, you know, event at bar, whatever, just because your lecturer told you that night to go. So we then sometimes hunt lecturers down too. So, and then I only have two more, but one is, why do you never tell who is a lesbian performer? Why do you never tell who is a gay performer? Why do you never tell who is a trans performer or DJ or worker? Simple fact, I think we are so much more. We are all those things, we are also humans, but I think we are so much more. So every time an organization, and it happens a lot, or they have kind of finished now, but the organizations always contact me and say, oh Ingo, we want 3 trans performers to this event. Can you recommend any? And I don't think it's fair for any performer or anyone that it is sort of like that is the main reason why you're booked. It can be a really good, you know, extra. So don't say that. So sometimes I can contact people and say, I know this organization are looking for people. If you are interested, let them know. But I never sending names to people and saying, yep, here's a list. Done and dusted. Because things change. And as someone suggested, we should have a little notice board when you're coming into Wotever, because sometimes we change gender or pronouns or names pretty much on a weekly basis for a period of time, because we're testing things. And that has to be allowed. And it is allowed here at Wotever. So nothing is set in stone, and we don't have to go out. You know, everyone can represent themselves where they are at the moment. And by the way, I define myself today as a transgender queer drag queen. Thank you very much. And the last question is, why did you move from Central Station? Each and every one of you that have been with us for a long time, and I think none of you that are here tonight would complain that we are here.
God no. God no.
No, thank you. I don't. None of us do. We love RVG. But I know some people are so fucking lazy because they happen to live next to Central Station. And they're like, why did you move? Because now I can't go. And I remember all of us that travel across the river from the other side, but they can't travel. No, people living up in North London rarely travel. I know a few of you do, and I love you for it. I love you for it. Thank you so much. But I'm so bored of that question. So thank you. Any other questions?
What next?
Are there any more waffles going?
Sorry?
I mean, bar whatever, not tonight.
Yeah, let's get on with it. What's next?
What happened to Club Fuck?
What?
What
What happens at Club Fuck?
What happened
Does it
to?
exist anymore?
Sorry?
What happened to Club Fuck?
Oh, what happened to Club Fuck? I thought you asked what happened at Club Fuck.
That's the question.
Because the rule we had was what happened at Club Fuck stays at Club Fuck, okay? No, but Club Fuck, we stopped it like 3 years ago or something.
Oh.
Why?
Don't you know what we're doing now? We're doing so many other sexy events.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What events?
Oh, Like, talk to Maria. She fills in. Here comes Maria, take care of you. Thank you. Because we do, and we have one on Thursday actually. If anyone here is interested in quite raunchy stage show, in sexual playing, on 2 floors in a dungeon in South London. We have an event on Thursday called Circus Orgasmus. Because on Thursday is Valentine's Day, that some of you might know. And on Valentine's Day, fair enough, we can spend it with one person and sit there over dinner and have a romantic day. It's fine. If that is what you want to do, it's fine. But what like my simple brain is thinking like, we're all looking for love, but what we really, really want is that orgasm. So we're celebrating the orgasm on Thursday, thank you very much. And we do it together, by ourselves, in couples, or with like bundles of people. So that is what we're doing on Thursday. So that was Club Fuck. And what happens next? I heard from down here. I have no fucking clue. Honestly, yeah, I don't know. We see. It will be on Facebook. But things will happen, that is for sure. We want to do this book. We have had this publisher hunting us for the last 2 or 3 years of this book about whatever. It will happen at some point. I think we should do more films. We should have more exhibitions. We should, continue to do more amazing parties and shows and inviting beautiful people who enjoy themselves and us. So I think we just keep on going.
Long live Wotever World!
Thank you very much. And I think we put a dot down there now with that. Thank you, Maria. Just want to say, over all these years, the amount and the numbers of people that have been putting time, effort, energy, love, lust, skills into making whatever happen, that is why it is here. It's not because of me. It is because of each and every one, that every week, every time we do an event, butting in and doing things. So, I would like you all to give a massive warm applause for the amazing crew we always work with. Because without them we are nothing. This is Wotever World.